Hello, Remax West, and happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. There's a few things that I wanted to chat about. There's so much that has been going on. There's lots of conversations happening at all levels of government, and people are really starting to feel the pinch, whether they have received a vacant tax bill or they know that their property taxes are going to be going up in Toronto. At a provincial level, we are giving away all kinds of money to large corporations for very few jobs that I think on average is going to cost the province $1 million per job. So I'm not sure who was looking at that math. And at a federal level, don't even get me started. There's, I'm really, that's what I'm most worried about, to be quite honest with you, although everything else concerns me as well, because we are in Ontario. I have a bunch of notes in front of me and on my screen, and there's a couple of things. Number one, as far as interest rates are concerned, you're not going to see that much of a change. The 5-year fixed rate went up by only 0.05, so not very much at all. But last week, the 3-year fixed went up 20 basis points. So there's that. It's a low roller coaster ride at the moment. Bond yields have kind of dropped, but rates have not dropped that much. And what I'm more concerned about is at the federal level, like I was saying, that Chrystia Freeland has asked for more money to increase the debt ceiling ratio. And really, our current leader says that, he doesn't really look at monetary policy, but it's kind of like allowing your children to take care of your household budget. If you leave it up to them, you'd be having ice cream for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a lot of the budget would be on video games or their favorite sports and all that sort of stuff. And then the big things like food and housing would be in a crisis. So makes me wonder, who are the adults in the room at a federal level that are currently taking care of this budget? And the reason why I say that is because despite them telling us that inflation is coming down in Canada, when you ask for the debt ceiling to be increased, that means that we're going to be printing money at some point in time. It is the printing of money and how quickly it gets dispersed that creates inflation. And so we can, that's going to be later on down the line. So short term, now we need to look at short term versus long term. So short term, they're telling us that interest rates might come down. Amazing. Could be June, but now they're saying maybe not. Maybe July, probably not August. Let's say September. September might be at the same time that the Fed's right before an election. Who knows? I don't know about October, November. Let's say December. Let's say a Christmas present. So let's say they drop rates, but how much do we think that rates are really going to drop? We've been expecting, markets have been expecting, I'm looking at Canada and the US, and we're looking at, to help people feel a little better, you'd need about 1.5% of a rate drop. We'll be lucky if we see a 1/4 point drop. And if we see anything greater than that, and if we look at history, even recent history, when rates dropped, it was because there was a financial crisis. So there's got to be some kind of crisis if rates are going to drop quickly and more aggressively, but I don't know if we're going to see that anytime soon. And then the question then becomes, for how long? Because in the future, we have to think about the more printing of money, because this current government has printed more money in 7 years than in Canadian history, and which is why we're feeling high interest rates or inflation, right? Everything's on the rise. So if we know that they are going to actually double that printing in the future, what is going to be the impact before we realize that? So we kick that can for, let's say, 5, 6, 7 years. We've already been feeling it for the last several years. So before Canadians fully realize the impact that is about to happen, will be in 7 years from now. And that will be 2030. And it'll be too late at that point in time, just like it's too late right now, because these policies started in 2015, 2016, 2017. And so, you know, it'll be very interesting to see. Now, how does that benefit us? And how does that benefit some of the market? So some people are going to get hurt, and some people are going to have some opportunities. And that brings me to the next part here, is that you may have seen in the last couple of weeks headlines saying, oh, mortgage delinquencies are up. And Equifax, because they're reporting mortgages on credit bureaus now, they can see who's delinquent. Now, that might be true, and of course it's increased quite a bit, but we want to take a look at who's defaulting at the moment. And the average Canadian is not defaulting right now. That is targeted to investors. So investors, speculators, whatever you might want to call them, who were looking to buy something and then flip it for a profit. Well, inventory is staying on the market a whole lot longer, and people are on the sidelines, and you can start to feel out who's an investor and who's a longtime homeowner who can stay a little steady on their price for a lot longer and are not in dire straits. So I would call those people amateur investors. And the market is going to start quickly cleaning that out. So that is a great opportunity for purchasers who are looking to buy newly renovated property, perhaps below market value. As long as they can afford it, they might be able to get themselves into an undervalued, well-improved property that's currently undervalued or can get a good price. So there are some of those that are going to be coming up, and I really think that clients should, anybody who's a potential purchaser who is looking to purchase, should always be ready, full documents on hand, and really having the opportunity to watch the market. And I always tell people to stay ready at least a year beforehand. And what starts to happen is, number one, they get comfortable with their numbers. 2, they start spending money differently. Believe it or not, their relationship to money starts to change, which is really important, because you don't want that happening only 90 days before purchasing the biggest investment and having the biggest debt of your life. So there's that. And 3, they get to watch rates, so that by the time they're actually ready to buy, they're feeling confident. They know exactly what it is that they're doing. They know where they are as far as the rate cycle. It's not surprising to them. And they've done all their homework. They've done all their shopping around, and they get to just experience the joys of buying a property. So that's pretty much that. It's all encapsulated. It's really, there are going to be some great opportunities in the next little bit, and it's just a matter of being ready for them. There's an opportunity to clean out some dead ends in this market. But the beauty is that we live in Toronto, and there's still demand for this city, and there's still a lot of room for growth. It's just that we've hit some bumps along the road. but that does not mean that there aren't some opportunities, despite being some tough times ahead. If you made it this far into this video, I really want to say thank you for listening and watching and paying attention and spending time with me and getting acquainted with my, some thoughts that I have. The reason being is because in my years of purchasing, I purchased my first property in 2001. In 2002, I think I paid over $120,000 more, and rates like skyrocketed because it was the tech bubble. And people thought, are you crazy? And I was like, maybe, but values continue to grow, and that's because it was in Toronto. So I bought during some crazy times in the market, and so I'm not afraid of buying when it feels like a downturn. There actually might be some opportunities, especially in a city like Toronto, where we're competing with the Londons, the Singapores, the Hong Kongs of the world, the New Yorks of the world. So there might be some opportunities for some of our clients. Have yourselves a great, great week. And if you have any questions or your clients might need a free, no obligation consultation, usually it only takes 15-20 minutes to have those conversations. And I just try to help them out as much as possible, get an understanding of where it is that they're at. And then if they decide that they want to proceed, then they will get a 1.5 hour free, no obligation, customized consultation with their numbers based on their specific scenarios. So if anybody's interested in any of that or offering it to your clients, all your clients have to say is, so-and-so from Remax West asked me to give you a call and said that you would do a no obligation consultation. And that's it. I just want to know where my phone calls are coming from, because as you know, my business is solely based on referrals. So I really, really do appreciate your trust. I cherish it, and I try to say thank you by giving all of this information to your clients, because I want them to come back and say, wow, thank you so much. I learned so much. And I don't know where it is, but, oh, there it is, that sign there. It says, teach and you will feed for a lifetime. And so that's really starting to become my higher purpose in this business, and really the commitment inside of my business is teaching so that I can feed for a lifetime, especially if they're going to have a mortgage for the next 15, 20, 25 years. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.